Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar hosted by the Organization Development and Change and Workforce Education and Development Program at Penn State. This is a monthly webinar series presented during your lunch hour. My name is Jenny Lee, and I'm a Ph.D. in Workforce Education and Development Program. We also have Seven Giri, who is the moderator for Q&A session. Today, we're presenting Crafting Meaningful Work and Life, presented by Manar Salamah. In terms of the interactive format for this webinar, please use the chat feature in the Zoom platform. If you have any questions about the presentation, please use Q&A feature on Zoom. You can see the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. The Q&A session will be at the end of this presentation. Our online Master of Professional Studies in Organization Development and Change are designed for professionals who need the skills and knowledge to effectively lead change in their organization. Furthermore, there is a Ph.D. program in Workforce Education and Development with a concentration in Human Resource Development and Organization Development. Our program has created a continuous monthly webinar series with experts around the world. Today, our presenter is Manar Salamah. Manar Salamah is a PhD candidate in Workforce Education and Development with an emphasis in HRD/OD. She's from Saudi Arabia, and she got a bachelor's degree in accounting from King Abdulaziz University and master's degree in HRD from Pittsburg State University. Also, she has an MBA. Manar has 2-year experience working in Alrajhi Bank in customer service and 6-year experience working as a lecturer in HR program coordinator and student consulting in the Royal Commission of Yanbu University College. She's currently working as an Alumni Representative with the College of Education Graduate Student Council Board. Here's Manar.
Thank you, Jenny, for this nice introduction. Thank you, everyone, for attending this webinar. As Jenny said, my name is Manar Salamah, and I'm PhD candidate in Workforce Education Development, emphasis in Human Resource Development and Organizational Development at Penn State University. And I'm here with you today to present my topic about crafting meaningful work and life. So why I choose in the beginning, why I'm choosing crafting meaningful work and life at the same time. I heard, like, when I read the studies, like different literature, there are some studies they are focusing on crafting on, for example, focusing on having meaningful work. And there are some other studies that focusing on having employees having meaningful life. I didn't see that there are some studies who connecting the meaningful work and life at the same time. So I felt that it's really connecting to each other. And this is why I'm choosing to help employees having both meaningful work and life, since I found it cannot be separated from each other. So let's start with what Branson 2007 said. He said that the individual person has the right to choose for themselves their own patterns of life, to decide in conscience what convictions to espouse, and to determine the shape of their lives in a whole host of ways that their ancestors were not able to do. What does that mean? It means that individuals have the right to choose what works best for themselves. So my study used job crafting as a tool for employees. They can use it to reshape their job and their life at the same time to fit with their needs, their motives, and thus having a meaningful work and life. And this is, before starting the problem, why I'm choosing this to talk about meaningful work and life. And as I said before, it's very connecting to each other, because employees or workers, they spend a significant portions of their time at work. We spend a lot of time at work. That can affect their overall outcomes and also their lives. It cannot affect, it cannot only affect our work, but also it affects our lives. However, like some people, we see that do their work as they are being forced to work. Some see their job as it takes them like away from their life. And others, they feel that they don't have a choice, and this is what they have found to pay the bill. Of course, in the other hand, we see like some workers, they enjoy what they are doing and they find the meaning behind their work. However, the questions here is, does the job fit with their broader vision of their life? So they can enjoy and engage in their work and life at the same time? And in their job, is their job preventing them like from taking pleasure in other phases of life? So why I'm asking these questions? Because these questions focus on like importance of making employees enjoy what they are doing, which can for sure influence their work and their life as a whole. And I'm doing this study because I'm working also as a consultant, as Jenny started the introduction, as a consultant in Royal Commission at Yanbu University College in Saudi Arabia, and also as a lecturer. And in Saudi Arabia, we have, university is different than here in United States. We have a female campus and we have a male campus. So all the colleagues that I'm working with is a female. So I saw that first, women in Saudi Arabia now is entering the workforce more than before. And those women have, like we see here, like some of those women have children or have elderly people who need to take care of. And some of them are struggling between how their family obligations like affecting their work and how their work at the same time affecting their family. So the imbalance between like personal and professional life can create many problems for those women at work and also at the organizations. For example, organization may have employees, unengaged employees, unsatisfied employees. And for women, like in higher educations, they are struggling with, like, for example, having inadequacies of the top-down job design approach, because everything in Saudi Arabia is centralized and coming from the top management. So the inadequacies of the top-down job design approach result in reducing their intrinsic motivations. For example, their hopeful career state, they're having imbalanced work life and their life. So those women need to engage in crafting their job to cope with the adversity at work and fit their job with their unique needs. As we see, if the top management design their job we see now that one size cannot fit all. So it may fit one person, but it cannot fit all the employees. And since it's resulting in reducing their hopeful career states and their imbalance between their work and their home, it's also resulting in having unengaged employees, unsatisfied employees, high turnover in tensions, and some studies also found having low organization commitment. So what is the purpose of my studies and what is the research questions? So the purpose of the studies, first of all, this will be as a quantitative study, and the purpose is to help see what is the relationship between all these 4 critical variables and how these critical variables connecting to each other and impacting or affecting each other's. So the outcomes that we need is the work engagement. We need to increase employees' work engagement. But how can we start this? We started by help them taking a proactive behavior, crafting their job, and that help them increasing hopeful career state, having a work-life balance, and at the same time can impact their work engagement. So the hopeful career state is mediating the relationship between job crafting and work engagement, and the work-life balance is moderating the relationship between job crafting and work engagement. The research questions here will be how job crafting predicting hopeful career state and how job crafting, hopeful career state predicting work engagement, and then how hopeful career state mediating the relationship between job crafting and work engagement. At the same time, how job crafting predicting the work-life balance and how work-life balance moderating the relationship between job crafting and work engagement. So in the literature review, we see that the first critical variable is job crafting, and we see that there are 2 perspectives of job crafting. The first perspective is Wierenski and Dutton, 2001, and those authors define job crafting as a constructive bottom-up changes those workers make. So workers who make the change to their rules, missions, cognitive and social boundaries to find more values in their work. The other perspectives is by Thames and other authors in 2012 who define job crafting as a self-initiative changes that employees make, also employees make in their job demand and job resources to achieve or maximize their personal work goal. So the first perspective is focusing on changing 3 things: the social boundaries, the cognitive, and the task. The quantity of the task, the cognitive, how employees see their work, how they think about their work, and the social boundaries. While the other perspective, they are focusing on 2 things: job demand and job resources. So for the job crafting, how employees can craft their job? They can craft their job by doing 4 things. First, they can increase their social job resources. And when I say increase their social job resources, social job resources is meaning that they seek more feedback, coaching, social support to deal and cope with high job demand, especially if they are under stress at work and having a high job demand. When they have, at the same time, they have low job resources, such as, for example, they have no autonomy, no colleagues or supervisor support. So in this time, they can increase their job resources through seeking feedback, advice from co-workers and managers, or maximizing the job autonomy and other resources to help them complete their task and achieve their goal. And increasing structural job resources by increasing their autonomy, opportunity for development, and some opportunities for development. So we see that like by increasing social job resources or increasing structural job resources, both job resources not only used to achieve their work goal, but they use it in helping individual to grow through learning and developing new skills. At the same time, employee can craft their job by increasing challenging job demand. For example, adding new tasks, having more responsibilities, volunteering for project, or for example, they can decreasing hindering job demand, like for example, reducing number of interaction with others. And when I say that decreasing hindering job demand or reducing number of interaction with others, that's decrease can help employees remain healthy and satisfied at the same time. This is because they will minimize their emotional and physical or mental demand, can be by decreasing the workload to maintain employee like from stress and burnout, and ensure that employees' work does not take over their life. And by doing this and by crafting their job, we see that in many studies found that that's really help improving individual personal job fit. The employees' work motivations will be increased. Employees will be, the work engagement will increase, the commitment will increase, the career success at the same time, and having an organization effectiveness. Work-life balance, which is the second critical variable in our study. For work-life balance, we have found that there are many definitions in the literature review, and we are in this study focusing on this definition, which is the individual perception that work and non-work activities are compatible and promote growth in accordance with an individual's current life priorities. So we found also in the work-life balance, this variable is very critical for female more than male. Actually, this has really surprised me in the study. And we found it's like a top 10 workplace trends. And I also found that job demands very significant antecedents of work-life balance. So it's like job demands in job crafting, very significant antecedents of work-life balance. And also we found that employees consider as an active manager of their work-life balance. So they are the one who can change or manage their work and their life at the same time. We also, as I said before, is critical for women's motivations, for more a commitment, and also for their performance. Also, work-life balance, we saw that it's very important in having a high level of work engagement. The third critical variable that we include in our study for having a meaningful work and life is hopeful career state. And what does it mean by hope? Employees who have a hope, they have a belief in one's ability to deduce paths to desired goal and inspire oneself to follow those paths using like agency thoughts. And we see that a hope is a positive motivational state and can be conceptualized as a consisting of two interconnected elements. We having a pathways thinking and we having also agency thinking. And for the pathway thinking, that means individual perceived ability to create like effective paths to their objectives. While the agency thinking or agency thoughts, on the other hand, like taps into an individual's perceived incentives or motivational energy to use those pathways to start and also maintain progress toward their objectives. So in other studies by Dr. Yoon and some other authors, we found that hopeful career states considered as an antecedent for work engagement. And in our studies, we make hopeful career state as a mediations between job crafting and work engagement. Also, we found it in other studies as a mediators, and it predicts positive outcomes such as, like, for example, job satisfaction, work engagement, happiness, and commitment, and some other positive outcomes for employees. Finally, the work engagement, that's the outcome that we would like to achieve in our studies. And work engagement, we know that it has three dimensions: the vigors, which refer to high level of energy. Employees who have like a high level of energy and the mental resilience when employed, the ability to put forth effort in one's job and perseverance in a face of adversity. So the deduction, which is the second dimensions of work engagements, refer to employees getting a good sense of meaning, passions, motivations, and their pride of themselves and challenge as a result of their work. And the third dimension, which is observations, which is focus and cognitive. And once employees feels observations when like the time of the work passes quickly and it's like difficult to separate themselves from the work when they when it's like once is completely concentrated and happily engrossed in one's work. And in the literature review, also we found that work engagement is positively associated with the job resources and negatively associated with the job demands. So increasing job resources will affect positively the work engagement, will have more engaged employees, and negatively with job demand. So the design of the study, we see that, as we say, we have our goal to have a work engagement. We have a hopeful career state as a mediations between job crafting and work engagement. We have a work-life balance as a moderator. Actually, our participants will be we will focus on the faculty and the staff, female in higher educations, specifically in 2 universities in Saudi Arabia. These universities is between public and private, so the policies are different there. And the probability sampling, simple random sample will be chosen in this study. So after having the accurate list of all employees, we will use a computer random number generator to select the sample, estimating like a sample size with 95% confidence interval and a 5% margin of error. We will be using moderator mediation model, process model 5 in HIAS 2013. And for the expectations of this study, we expect that employees who using job crafting will shape their jobs proactively, should be able to better shape their work demand and work and job resources to suit their needs and the skills. Therefore, they will be better able to combine their job and their family commitment, which resulting in enhancing optimal functions and increasing their engagement and performance, at the same time having high hopeful career state and high balancing their work and life. This is my presentation for today, and please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions, or would you like to share anything?
Thank you for the presentation, Manar. We have a couple of questions here for this session, and I'll start with the first question. So it asks, why are you focusing on female more than male, although family and work are important to both male and female?
Thank you so much for those questions. Actually, I'm focusing on female because of many reasons. The first reason is this is what I'm working in a female campus. So I saw the female are struggling in front of me. Like I saw my colleagues like struggling with all these things, like having elderly or children or whatever. And because like both work and family are very important for Saudi women's, and because Saudi women have resistance and success in both roles and contribute to economic development, it becomes like critical to understand the relationship between like job crafting, hopeful career state, work-life balance, and their impact on women work engagement, especially like there was no previous study examined like this relationship. So I would like to help my colleagues at work to have meaningful work and life. And also because the vision of Saudi Arabia now, 2030, more women entering the workforce. So this is why I'm focusing more on female.
Thank you. That's a great vision. So another question that we have is, how can an individual advance in their careers if the expectation from their company is to prioritize work over family or personal life?
Can you please repeat your question? I didn't hear it. Sorry about that.
Yes. So it asks, how can a person advance in their careers if the expectation from their company is to prioritize their work over family or personal life?
Okay, this is a really great question. Actually, any organization would focus on their having a productive employees. So some organization, unfortunately, they don't care if about employees' life. So this is why I'm here to present job crafting as a very important tool that employee can proactively use to enhance their career success. And what I found in the literature review that employees can proactively changing their job, whether the top management are agree or not agree about that. So it's a proactive behavior that employees can take to help themselves having a career success and at the same time meaningful work and life.
Thank you. A similar question to job crafting is, it asks, how can I as a manager support and encourage job crafting for my employees and get support from the corporate office as well?
Thank you so much for this question. This is very important for all the top management to enhance the job crafting at work, because I think they will have a win-win situations. The job crafting is not only helping employees to achieve their career or having a meaningful work and life, but it also helps organizations, since we will have a high organization commitment, high engaged employees, high performance, productive employees. So it's very important for the top management to enhance the job crafting through different things. So, for example, doing some training program about job crafting, increase the employees' awareness. What is job crafting? Why we are using job crafting? How can the job crafting can help them achieve their goal or achieve their their career or whatever they want. At the same time, as I said, we will have a win-win situation. So it's very important to enhance this variable.
Thank you. Another question that we have is, what is the difference between your study and other studies using job crafting?
Okay, so job crafting, as we know here, is a self-directed behavior. So it comes by employees themselves. In Saudi Arabia, the difference between my study than other studies is that most of studies that talks about job crafting is like applying job crafting in the Western culture, which is different totally about the Eastern culture, the Saudis cultures. In Saudi Arabia, we have employees are more centralized. They are depending on the top management. As I said, like before, everything is designed by the top management. And we say that one size cannot fit all. So my study is different than the other studies. Is first, different cultures. Applying job crafting in Western is different than Eastern culture or Saudi's culture. The second thing is The proactive behavior also is not very common in Saudi Arabia or in Saudi's cultures. Like most Saudis maintain the status quo at work, which result like in different job crafting practice than those in the Western cultures. At the same time, I didn't find any studies who connecting the job crafting, the four critical variables together. So I'm really interested to see how connecting these variables can help or can result in work engagement, at the same time employees having meaningful work and life.
Thank you. Another similar question is regarding the point that you just made. It says, I really like your point about the issues of top-down approach in a company. What are some of the ways that you can suggest we can change this approach so that work-life balance is encouraged and supported for all employees?
For my study, I'm focusing on job crafting. I'm not sure about other like things, but I feel like job crafting it's a good tool to use to help employees taking a step, redesign their job based on their motives, based on their needs, so that it can fit more with what they want.
Thank you. Another question is, are there any ways that you suggest to inspire or encourage vigor, dedication, and absorption in their work engagement?
Yes, I think it's like any organization would like to have engaged employees. So work engagement is something very important for any top management. So I felt like the awareness, having some training programs on job crafting or contributing like with the workers and designing their job. I think these are some ways top management can use to enhance work engagement at the same, job crafting, and at the same time helping enhance employee work engagement.
Thank you, Manar. We have one last question. So the question is, there are some female who do not have a family and their work is their life. How do you deal with that issue?
This is very good questions. And this is what I take care of in my study. And excuse me to go back with the slides to work-life balance. And here, I choose, as I said, there are many definitions of work-life balance. And the definition that I choose here is the individual perception that work and non-work activities. I didn't choose work and family because there, as you said, there are some people who not having a family, or the non-work activities, it's include everything. It's like more general. It include the family, include the friends, include an entertainment or anything. So this is why I'm choosing this definitions. And at the same time, I didn't choose the work family enrichment. So for example, if I'm choosing work family enrichment as a variable, then I here I'm like a specific, I'm considering only those who having a family, or but I'm not including the non-work activities. So this is why I'm choosing, as I said, this definitions. And for these definitions, it means that it describes the balance as related to the individual preference of the rule silence, whether a person would rather spend more or less time on work and non-work activities, with understanding that these perceptions can shift over time. So it can be changed over time as life priorities change. We see, like, sometimes it's, for example, their perception now. So it all depends in employees' perceptions, and their perception today may change tomorrow. So this is why I'm choosing this more general definitions. And so that perception of balance can lead to development in work and non-work domains. As you see in the definition also, it says it's based in according with an individual's current life priorities. So it depends on their current life priorities. So for those female who doesn't have a family, maybe the non-work activities are something having fun with the friends or whatever. So this is why I'm choosing more general definitions on having a balance between work and life. Thank you so much for these questions.
Thank you, Manar. Thank you for the great presentation. Back to you, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you, Manar, and thank you, Sagun. It was a pleasure being with you today. On behalf of our OD&C and Workforce Education and Development program, we hope you think this webinar is helpful. We didn't get to your question, please send us an email, or you can reach out to the presenter directly via email. For the future webinar, we would like to hear your feedback on today's webinar. Please take the survey using the link in the chat box. It takes less than 3 minutes. Our next webinar is about leading a team to accomplish their goal by Dr. Joey A. Fleck on May 27th, Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Registrations for all events can be found on all of us social media platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Again, thank you everyone for joining us today, and we'll see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.